All right, let's do our drawing for main lesson. We're gonna flip this over. So we have now the spiral is on the left side, and we can go ahead and make our border to start with. Maybe I want to make a blue border this time. You make yours whatever color you like. Now I already made a little rough draft of my drawings because I really want my best work to go in here. And it's totally okay if you make a mistake in your main lesson book, but just because I want to have thought through my work a little bit before I put it here, I did do a little rough draft, and you can see I did it on a little piece of scratch paper that was a handwriting worksheet that I was done with, but I made a little rough draft here of what I'm going to draw. So now I'll show you how I drew those things. So we were talking about, let's start by reading what we wrote. Plants put all of their effort into growing flowers and fruits that will make seeds. When the seed pod is dry, the seeds are ready for harvest. One seed pod may have hundreds of seeds inside. So I want to draw some flowers and some fruits and some seed pods. The flower we talked about the most was the poppy. And the poppies, oh, they're so beautiful. Sometimes you see whole fields of poppies. I'm going to draw a poppy flower right over here, kind of in this area. Now you see on my rough draft, I just kind of practiced what I was going to draw and get my notes out of there. But I didn't really think about where I was going to place it. So now I'm going to think about where I will place it on my page. I'm going to put my poppy flower up here. And then I'll put my poppy seed pod kind of here. So I'm going to start with that yellow center. Remember that the bees, they're like an airplane coming in for a landing, and you want to give them a nice little landing pad. Oh, my crayon was a little dirty there. It gave me kind of a funny color. So the flowers make this kind of big, important center that draws the bees into it. So I start with my yellow center. And actually, I'm going to come in there with this gold because I don't feel like that's quite the color. Yeah, a little bit of gold makes it up here more. They also had like tiny little kind of hairs coming off of them, little antennae almost. And so that's kind of in the center. And then the other thing that they did in the center was that the petal, as it went toward the center, was darker than the outside. And poppies are a great example of that because sometimes you'll see red poppies that actually have a black center, and that really draws those bees in. They love those dark colors. So I'm going to start with my darker color purple because we saw some pink poppies. And I'm going to start kind of building up behind, and I'm letting that little, I don't know if you can, how well you can see. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. There we go. So you can still see my little shoots of yellow kind of coming into this. And so I'm going to do one petal at a time here, and this is kind of going to fade out a little bit, so it's a little bit lighter as I go up. And now I'm going to get my crayons are a different color than yours, but you also have like a lighter kind of purple. And so I'm going to color with that, and I'm going to color kind of lightly with it so I get a nice light kind of pink color. And you can see I'm just sort of building up my leaf shape, getting it kind of big. And then once I get it kind of towards the edges, I'm going to start rounding it out. Those nice round petals. Okay, so there's one. Now I'm going to make the next one. In the same way. make these kind of the same size petals as each other. All right, and now sometimes I don't want to look like I'm looking straight down at it. I want to make it look like it's kind of propped up a little. And so maybe this petal, maybe I don't see that dark purple. Maybe I just see like kind of a rounded part of that petal. And I'm going to kind of build that up. And you see how it's kind of a shorter leaf because I'm seeing it sort of tilted on its side a little bit. And then if I were to look down into it, I would see the dark spot. And then I'll come over here and make the dark one over here. And I think from what I remember, the poppies have about 4 petals. Maybe they have 5. I don't know. I'm gonna do 4 petals on mine, because that seems to work. Oop, I went a little dark there. A little darker than I've been going. That's okay. And this doesn't have to be a poppy. It might be some other kind of flower, but I'm kind of basing mine off of a poppy today. Whoop. Now that petal got way bigger than the others, so I'm going to come in here. Good thing I didn't draw any hard lines in here. I can just come in here and build up these petals a little bit more. I want them a little bit closer together too. There, oh, what a nice poppy flower I made. All right, and then I'm going to give it a nice little stem. They had nice kind of bright green stem. Maybe I'll come like this. Oh yeah, that looks nice. And I remember poppies having a nice pointed kind of leaf too. Kind of going off the page just a little bit. Okay, and now we have our poppy, our seed pod for the poppy. And I want to show my seed pod kind of dumping out seeds. All right, and I have a brown crayon here. I think you guys have a brown crayon too. So I'm going to show it kind of pouring out. So I'm going to start with my great big round seed pod. They're like really circular. So I'm going to build that up, make it nice and big. We've got such a nice big piece of paper here. We might as well take up some space. All right, and then at the top, it was like they had a little crown of things on it coming around. You might not be able to see them too well on all sides, but we'll color a little darker right there. Maybe we'll see better. And if you really can't see it, you could even come in here with a little black, just really kind of lightly just accent that a little bit. And then let me come back with my brown, and I'm going to make it the stem coming off over here like it's bending over and dumping out the seeds. And now here's the fun part. All that little salt shaker full of poppy seeds. You can make those seeds spreading out. Oh, lots of seeds. Okay, so there's my poppies. Now I'm going to come down to the bottom, and the other thing, the one that we talked about a lot about the fruit was the zucchini. And it's hard to think about zucchini like a fruit, but it is the fruit of the plant. And it is a vegetable as well, but it's kind of a tricky one because fruits always have seeds inside of them. But some things that we kind of think of as vegetables also have seeds inside. So first I'm going to draw, down here a big zucchini plant with a big yellow flower kind of still on the end of it. Because I think that's what we saw at Miss Current's garden. So I'm going to start by building up a nice big zucchini plant. And I bet a lot of you guys probably have these zucchini plants at home. Boy, you guys had such amazing gardens. I want gardens like you guys have. Some of you don't have gardens, and you guys are like me. We're beginners. This is my first year having a garden, so my garden was really small. And that's awesome that we're, you know, some of us are just getting started, and that's really cool. Some of us are really far along with it, and that's really awesome too. All right, so here's my zucchini. And maybe I want to make it, just so I know kind of that it's not just a green blob, some zucchini have kind of stripes, so I'm going to come in here and make some darker stripes. Okay, and now right off the end there was that beautiful golden flower. Whoops, I'm almost out of room here. And it was kind of a long flower. And if I want to give that a little bit more definition, I can kind of come in here with my orange and do a little bit of shading around the outside of it. Oh, that looks so nice. Do a little bit of shading right in there too. This kind of just helps our plant come to life, look a little bit more lifelike. All right, now I want to draw, just like up here we drew the seeds coming out of the seed pod, I want to draw what it looks like on the inside of this zucchini. So if I were to cut a zucchini, I know I've been talking about building up our colors and not drawing hard lines, but if I were to cut a zucchini, I would just see a little line around the outside of it, of its, the peel, and then inside the flesh is kind of white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw like I've cut into a zucchini here. So I'm going to draw not exactly a circle, more like an oval. Okay, so it's kind of like a little bit of an egg shape, right? And then from there, I can start building up my color. But that way we get that impression that we've got the peel going around. And that white flesh on the inside. And then we can give it our little stripes. All right, now in there, the seeds are pretty white, but it'd be really hard to see white seeds on white flesh even if I used a white crayon, it wouldn't really show up. So I'm going to use my lighter green. I don't know if you guys, let me see. What do you guys have? I've got a spare one here. Or you don't have another green. Well, you can use, I'll tell you what you can do. I'm not going to, I have this lighter green, but I'm not going to use it because I want to show you guys what to do. So what I think I'll have you do is actually start with your lemon yellow, and we're going to draw we'll draw 5 seeds. Maybe this is more like a cucumber. I think a cucumber it's a similar, they look the same. Because zucchinis have like a ton of tiny little seeds in there. That'd be kind of harder to draw. So I'm going to draw little seeds here. And they're like little ovals. I'm going to draw about 5 of them. 1, 2, and they kind of are in a little star shape. 3, 4, 5. I don't know if that's very easy to see, but now I'm going to go over it with my green. And because I put down that yellow first, it should be pretty light in color. And just go over it really lightly. And bring out those seeds a little so we can see them. There, now we've got a little zucchini or cucumber. Now, that's a pretty nice painting or picture drawing that I've made, but it does look a little bit white, and I don't really love it when my drawing has so much white. So I'm gonna take my lemon yellow and I'm gonna go over it. Now I think I don't really want to go over this part here with my lemon yellow because that might make those yellow seeds disappear. So I'm gonna go just around that part a little bit. Oh, that warmed everything right up. Now it looks like it's a nice sunny day at the farm where we've harvested all these beautiful seeds. go in a couple directions here so I don't have big lines.
All right, so there's our picture for seeds.